Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa Walkenhauer with Big Magazine. I'm joined today with Eric Johns, CEO of Ironclad Environmental Solutions. Ironclad Environmental Solutions provides waste management services and specialty containment solutions to a wide range of industrial sectors throughout the U.S. They work through a network of 55 branches and a young fleet of over 39,000 specialized rental assets to store, separate, and transport liquid and solid industrial waste. Eric, thank you so much for joining me today.
Glad to do it.
In your article in the March-April issue of Big Magazine, you stated that a customer survey revealed they wanted more equipment, locations, and service. That led to Ironclad investing in its fleet of assets, improving the quality of equipment and rolling stock. And in less than a year, you refurbished 4% of your entire fleet. What will that figure look like at the end of 2024 and into 2025?
Pretty similar, actually. I think we've found that there's, it's a combination of new equipment, obviously, but a lot of it is just being able to refurbish our asset base. And so it's not only is it good from a sustainability perspective, but from a return on investment standpoint, it's actually one of the highest ROI things that we can do. So we're pretty bullish there, and we feel like that's a pretty good number. So, about 4% a year is a lot, actually, for us. And, it doesn't sound like a lot in general, but when you start figuring the scale of the asset base that we have, it's quite a bit. But that's also fleet that's going to not only go back into the existing locations, but in many instances, we'll either convert them to an asset that maybe might be a more specialty asset, or we can move them into other end markets, that sort of thing. Especially with some of the new sites that we're opening up, we want to make sure that we open up in a market with a good a suite of equipment, where it's not it's not just something that somebody else didn't want. We want to make sure it's good stuff coming into a market, so we have one chance to make a name for ourselves in a market.
That's awesome. As a result of the two enterprise resource planning cutovers, Ironclad now runs on the RentalMan integrated software platform per customer recommendation. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, it's a system called RentalMan, and it's very widely used in companies that rent a lot of equipment. It's really kind of the standard. It's what most companies and the folks that everybody, household names in the rental world are using, and that's what it's really good at. And so yes, we've gone through really, I guess, three technically now with the Investi integration. So we've integrated three companies together into the RentalMan platform, and it's from an asset perspective, it does everything we need it to do and more. And then on top of that, we're able to pull in, add like a BI dashboard and things like that, so we can get a lot more granular. We know a lot more details, but the kind of the aircraft carrier of the business is RentalMan, and it's been a good system for us. A lot of us have used it in the past, and so a lot of familiarity. And then as we're bringing in talent, they have the ability they already know how to use the system. There's some familiarity there, so there's not a steep learning curve. Whereas if we were using something like SAP or Oracle, much more of a steep learning curve, whereas this one is kind of designed for our space. And it's also very user-friendly, especially folks that are, entering in contracts and things like that, entering in work orders, the kind of the highly transactional things that happen in the field. The system is really, really good at that.
That makes sense. Customers also asked you for more locations and got them with Ironclad's acquisition of Adler, in addition to more team members and a stronger network of assets. The acquisition of Investi Water Solutions in California adds roughly 4,000 assets and 8 more locations. How many total locations does Ironclad now have nationwide?
We're sitting at 55 today, and that doesn't include some of the on-site locations that we have where we actually would go to a customer site, where we actually occupy a part of their facility where they've asked us to come by behind the gate. So it's 55 in total. But yeah, we've added another 4,000 assets, brings our asset count to about 39,000. So very large fleet, definitely gives us a lot of opportunity to leverage scale, especially when we run into major projects that clients need massive amounts of equipment. In many instances, we're the ones, whether it's directly from us or whether it's through a third party, we're the ones that are coming in with that. We just have a large enough scale where we can do some things that others can't. That's one of the benefits of having scale. And the other thing is having, a lot of clients want us to be in certain markets that we're not necessarily in or weren't in the past, and now we are. And so it allows us to be able to service these clients where they might have only worked with us maybe predominantly on the Gulf Coast. And I know they say, hey, we love you in the Midwest. We love you on the West Coast, especially with the Dinvesti coming together. That was really an Ironclad Adler, Ironclad coming together with, Legacy Adler business with the Dinvesti business on the West Coast. So yeah, we have really a nice national footprint now. So we can, if there's a market that we're not in, more than likely, either we're going to open there or it doesn't make sense for us to be there. But in many instances, we're pretty much in the major markets in North America, we're where we need to be.
Ironclad sustainability efforts have really stuck out to me, from converting and refurbishing boxes and tanks to achieve top performance, to water testing equipment to ensure operability. Do you have raw figures on any of this, or how are you thinking about sustainability in 2024 and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, sustainability was one of our core values of the company, and then that's one of we really have had a sustainability message kind of staring at us in the face, and we never really talked about it. I mean, by definition, using an asset temporarily and then letting somebody else use it is sustainable. And so, by having the large network that we have, by having the large fleet that we have, we're the best stewards of these assets as life cycle. And so, we feel like with that platform that we have, obviously, we do the refurbishments. That's very helpful from a capital perspective, but also there's a big sustainability piece in there. Just for example, like a box might weigh anywhere between 6,000 to 14,000 pounds, and a tank could weigh, let's call it 28,000 pounds. So and we're doing hundreds of conversions every year, and refurbishments. So that's, again, we're still working on from the raw data perspective. We're in the very infant stages of it. I know we've developed with our board of directors a sustainability council, so to speak, and that's one of the things that we're putting together. We want to put together something that we can definitively answer and say, hey, we have data to back it up. And so we also know that it's very important to a lot of our major clients where, they have sustainability goals that they're trying to achieve. And this really allows us to help them support their efforts as well. So, and it's just the right thing to do all the way around. And, we're fortunate that we're in a business that allows us to just naturally provide some value around the sustainability piece.
That's awesome. Since you guys have changed, to Ironclad, I know you've turned to the team to shape the new mission, vision, and values. Can you speak to the company's mission, vision, and values?
Yeah, I can. It was a lot of fun, actually. We obviously we brought together sort of a merger of equals, and what we didn't do was just create something in some think tank and then push it out. We brought our senior leaders in the company together, not just senior. It was probably about 40 folks in a room, and we broke apart into groups, and it wasn't just one side and the other. We mixed everything up, and we actually brought in a consultant to give us a hand with the integration, and this was a big part of it. Is who do we want to be? And so that was one of the things that we did, was we took it from the ground up. It wasn't a one size fits all, and everybody had a chance to have a part to play in the messaging. And it was really rewarding to see some of the things that came out of it. And again, to make sure that this is our company. It wasn't like a traditional small tuck-in acquisition. I mean, this was a major undertaking. We wanted to make sure we got it right, and we also wanted to make sure that everybody felt like they were part of the team, and we were creating something. And so when you create something, you have the ability to kind of forget everything you knew in the past, and it was really rewarding to be able to knock that out with the team.
That's awesome. I know also the team, wanted to be more customer-centric, business based. So that's known about your quality, service, safety. How did that feel for you?
It was great. I mean, I talked about sustainability earlier. I mean, the safety piece is core. That was the one non-negotiable that we had, and the team all agreed with that. But just the other thing, like just being humble about what we do. Obviously, we're a very large organization now, but we can still be humble and have humble at scale. Obviously, the quality of the equipment and services that we provide is really important to our clients, but also it's important to us. But we can't do that if we're not people centric, and so we want to make sure that our team members are the ones to be focused. So if we take care of our team, everything, they can't take care of the customer unless we take care of them. And so we know that that's very important as well. But then, it sounds, as silly as it sounds, it's the honesty and integrity piece too. There's always challenges, there's always things that come up, but where we kind of rest back is, what's the right thing to do? And all of our folks kind of, live that, and they see it every day. And even in the small decisions that we make just day in and day out, it all kind of comes back to that. And so it's pretty rewarding from my perspective, at least, that we did it with the team, and they all feel like they're part of the family too.
Yeah. I know whenever I see the guys out, I feel part of the family, even just work. We learned that at the rodeo.
Oh yeah.
So team and culture is obviously very important to Ironclad. You said in the article that you had this issue, that the company expanded throughout 2023, and it was very important to maintain the familial feel that powers Ironclad. Can you talk about the process of giving team members the opportunity to share about what kind of company they wanted Ironclad to be?
Yeah, we think about it in terms of kind of like federal rights and states' rights. I think at the federal level, it's like safety, for example. That is a non-negotiable. That is part of working for our organization. It's a core value. It's the right thing to do. We have requirements at the corporate level, so to speak, where it speaks back to safety and certain processes, and that's kind of the biggest example is the safety piece. But at the local level, we know that these are local branches with local people and local customs and cultures, and what works up in South Plainfield, New Jersey is not going to work in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and it's certainly not going to work in Mira Loma, California either. So we want to make sure that we give the local leaders the ability to do the things that need to get done in their markets, while obviously following the basic things that they have to follow. So look, we'd say our all the time our branch managers are the CEOs of their organization, so they've got their location. They're responsible for everything that goes there, and all we are is just support. All we do is how do we keep the car out on the track, so to speak. And the corporate office is the pit crew, and the branches are the car, and our job is to get them back out on the track as quick as we can. And so, but the way we do that is we let them have the flexibility to manage through local situations and things like that as they need to. So
It makes a lot of sense. I don't think you're going to sponsor a rodeo cook-off in Chicago or anything like that anytime.
no, it's funny. No, we do stuff like that in the Gulf Coast, and we'll do we do crawfish boils in Baton Rouge, right? And up in the other places they might do a ball game, they do pizza cookouts or whatever it is. There's a local flavor to everything, and that's what kind of brings and not only does it bring our team together, but also a lot of times it brings our customers together too. So we don't have a one size fits all type mentality for how we do that, and that's where I think has also let us be as successful as we have been too.
That's awesome. So Eric, if someone wanted to know more about Ironclad or get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Go to the website. The website's fantastic. We put a lot of effort into that, building out the website, that sort of thing. We put a lot of data, and we try to make it as user friendly for the customers as we can, so they can find things without having to have ask a salesperson or anything like that. Or one of our national account managers or strategic account managers. We really, the website is the best way to hit it up. LinkedIn, we try to do some stuff on LinkedIn too. We, try to give out some case studies and things that have worked for certain customers, certain solutions that we've provided. We try to put those out there because we know that those solutions aren't necessarily isolated to just one customer. And in many instances, it's just sharing best practices. And obviously we benefit in some way, shape or form, but we also know that if we can get that information out there, it helps somebody else too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Eric. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
No, I just appreciate you having me.
Awesome. Well, everyone, as always, we are most grateful for our audience. Please like and share this recording with your colleagues. For more industry videos, news, and webinars, visit bigmagazine.com. And remember, it's what we do together that counts.